Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another beginning of a Rocket Sunday season. It is trios up ahead of us, and it is 92 teams for us tonight to go through. And yeah, here with me is Aaron. My name's D'Amato, and well, yeah, welcome to the tier announcement stream. It took us a while, but we're finally here.
Yeah, it's well, it's good to finally be live, of course. I'm just watching the Rocket Sundays intro there, that we play on stream, and yeah, I've missed it. It's been a while since I've been involved in these things, so yeah, I forgot how good they were, and it is good to be back on stream, even though we might not really be live throughout the season. Of course, we're here with this tier list announcement, and you are all here as well. We can see you sort of flooding in. And welcome, yeah, welcome.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, currently lacking a little bit of personal, which is why there has been like slight delays in the preseason and stuff as well. Our staff team is a little bit smaller. Maybe we can pick up streaming at some point. I think for now we really aim to give you or deliver most of the playoffs, and of course encourage teams who want to stream their matches during the season. But well, I think enough yapping. Let's just get into it here. As we will start off with a foundation tier, the beloved bottom tier of Rocket Sundays returns once more with 6 teams. It is going to be a double round robin for this tier only, and the top 4 teams are going to go into the playoffs. And starting off, our first team of the night is going to be Fish. So, yeah, now you can see our beautiful faces as well. But you can also see the beautiful logo and lineup of Fish returning for yet another season. They have been here quite some time, so I think it's their 4th season so far. Last season, they did go 6th in the same foundation tier here. They are once more coming in as the bottom seed, not the greatest success in preseason. And they have declared as their goal for this season to score a goal. I mean, they've won a series apparently, so they're already on a good start for that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen these stories throughout the Rocket Sundays history, and there has to be a team on the bottom, right? And the great thing about this community is that even though this feels bad saying it, it's usually the same sort of teams, and then you get to see those people grow as time goes on and improve and move themselves up. So that's nice. And I know there's a few people potentially in this chat who maybe flirted with that bottom spot for a bit. But yeah, and Fish back again, and it's always good to have a team that, even though they might not have the great success, always happy to be here. That's always good for Rocket Sundays.
Yeah. Next up, going through this foundation tier, we have Sierra Esports. They are a newcomer, a team that has been originally into racing more, with F1, iRacing, and Assetto Corsa, now expanding their lineups to Rocket League. They are ranked just above Fish, have played them in preseason and did win, but have suffered defeats by 2 teams above them. I personally was happy to deliver one of these defeats to them. They did not look too bad. It's a 5-man roster. This is always exciting. A lot of possibilities for them here to show us what they can do in different combinations.
Yeah, and if they're pretty new to this sort of environment of gameplay, then you can only improve.
Yeah, for sure. Next up is it is me with Yap and Yaneman. That is going to be a hell of a season. I'm not quite sure what we can expect. You see Yaneman and I here on different rosters last season. Preseason pretty mixed. suffered a pretty hefty sweep there by Freaky E-Break, who won every single game by 1 goal. Yeah, it is gonna be a tough one in this Foundation tier. Honestly, this is stacked this year, and we're right in the middle.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's always good to see you and Yap on the roster together as well. OG's back in the day as well, and be good to see how you get on.
Team Aphelion are returnees as well here. It's been quite a while since these guys been around. They played almost 4 years ago in Rocket Sundays, until most of the players pretty much went extinct here. We have known players in Minotaur, Guy from the Pro-Am squad, who unfortunately are not bringing a roster into this trio season. Underoos makes another return, and Nick has been on the OG Aphelion roster as well, if I remember correctly. They have had very good results in preseason, and are definitely one of the top contenders to go top here in this Foundation tier. Read the logos. I mean, Aaron, will you go ahead? That demands logo rating.
Yeah, so it's in the top corner, and they're confused as to why the Ascension logo is ranked first.
Yeah, I wonder.
The ranks were done in house between the staff, and it's generally weighted amongst, and orgs get the same. So
yes.
All Ascension logos, despite the color, will say first place.
Yeah, and as you will see in the predictions later on as well, except for us, of course, because who would predict for us? But given that the staff is like mostly Ascension players themselves, I guess you can figure why this is so far on top. But yeah, it's 59 logos overall. If you do dumb it down to org logos all being counted as one, and some teams not having submitted logos. So yeah, 53rd, definitely not on the higher end of it. Coming up, the only Panthera roster in this season, unfortunately. They are active in other competitions as well, so they are expected to be very competitive in this Foundation tier. Only have had 1 game in preseason against Team Serene, who we're gonna see in a bit, presumably. And their last finish was an 8th in development by Righty. I think Big Chaps, etc. have played as well, but I'm not sure if in the last season.
I just want to point out as well, like it's funny to see we've not got the top ranked MMR wise team in the Foundation tier yet, and this just shows sort of how Rocket League and how Rocket League players have developed. I think the first time we introduced the Foundation tier, the best team was like, I think maybe had 1 Diamond player on it. I might be mistaken, but I'm sure it was around that sort of like 1,000 MMR, maybe 900 MMR region. And now we're not even at the top one, and the average MMR is like nearly Champ 3.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, honestly. And I'm like, as a hard stuck full noob, being in the bottom tiers of RS for pretty much all the season that we had. It's crazy in Diamond these days, man. These people hit like ceiling shot and stuff, and like I used to be champ, and now I'm legit hard stuck. It's so sad.
I feel I play a lot less than I used to, but I still play with Team Yeasty, Lodi and Tom, and yeah, we sit around Diamond because we'll get on a nice little run, and then before we know it, it is like double flip reset. Double taps from just one guy carrying the whole team, and then you go back down.
Well, let's go on. Team Serene Mirai is the last one for this one, and yeah, I personally do not know many of these players. I think Polar has been called. Yaneman is the only one this season who named players to watch, because we did not include players to watch in the prediction anymore. But yeah, apparently they are quite an interesting site. And yeah, they wanted us to give a shout out to Team Serene as they are representing them. And yeah, surprisingly, apparently. But yeah, they are the top seed of Foundation. Let's wrap it up real quick. Here do we have the staff predictions. And yeah, Team Serene, big favorites to take league play. There are some believers in Aphelion, especially in the playoffs as well. I mean, you unfortunately did not have the time to predict. Would you like to predict now?
I'm gonna go. I think it's got to be one of the top two, right? But I think that Aphelion are a lot better than they perhaps first appear. So I'm gonna say Team Aphelion. Um, yeah, we'll go with Team Aphelion, but I think Team Serene Mirai will win the playoffs there.
Yeah, to answer what the weird logos on the side mean, this is like the profile pictures of the different staff members who did the prediction. To explain it once, the cat is Daddy, this one is Engineer, this is Dognut, I don't know, Doggo, you know him, Die Guy, this is me, and this is Yaneman. So on the left side is who we think wins league play, on the right side is who we think wins playoffs. So yeah, Engineer is the GOAT. I can only second that. Engineer is the GOAT, undisputed.
100%.
Yeah, he's unfortunately not playing this year, but he's doing a lot behind the scenes, a big help to even get us going at all. I'm also told to tell you on his behalf that the teams or the fixtures will probably come out either tomorrow evening or Monday morning. He's not getting them done today, but yeah, I think for now the info where you are headed is probably all you need for now. League play begins officially on Monday anyways. So yeah, let's head on to the dev tier. Oops, let me suck. 10 teams this time, a full tier. No prize pool. Top 6 go into playoffs. Playoffs are going to be a double elimination system again. They will be on one specific weekend. The weekends will be announced in the upcoming week, so that you have like 2 to 3 matches on a Saturday, and maybe for the bigger tiers, you will have some on the Sunday as well. But yeah, the schedule is going to come out in short notice, or in a few days. And yeah, for now let's just talk about how this tier is put together. And we're starting with TTX. Returners to the court as well here. With, yeah, Quartz and Alexandru staying on the team. I think Shadowly and Neon were on there before. I'm not quite sure who the GOAT is right now. Maybe this is Engineer's Smurf account. But yeah, after winning Foundation last time round, they are the bottom seeds in this year's dev tier.
Yeah, I mean they got beat by Aphelion, but I think that their performance last season, as well as their overall MMR, did help them place into the development tier, and maybe they'll be a little bit disappointed by that. But I think if you've won last season, if you win, you want to feel like there's a bit of progress going on, even if it does put you at the bottom of the bigger pool. You're no longer the big fish in the little pond.
Yeah, yeah. It will help you to improve, but I think TTX especially are like very lineup dependent as well. With their 5 players, in the past they've shown very different success depending on the combination. So yeah, maybe they just did not field their A team against Aphelion. I do think they should generally be able to compete in this dev tier. Shadow Esports, Anubis, the Dirty Dwarf I saw in chat there. Quartz, if you read this, we're likely gonna play. Yeah, I think that is probably true, as they are the neighboring seeds here. One development last time around with Systema Solaris, and yeah, now the 2 winners here have another teammate with them in trios.
A loss and a win preseason, couldn't get against TTX, which would have been interesting, I guess. So they're already talking about playing each other in the chat. Well, you'll get the chance throughout this season, and the logo rank top 10. Shadow Esports get a top 10 logo ranking.
Yeah, it's a banger, to be fair. Well, going way down though, Freaky E-Break here. With a freaky combo, I guess, coming in. There's a bunch of E-Break teams. This is the first of them. A side that we had the pleasure of playing in preseason as well. They looked very, very composed, I guess. Like, just very clean rotations, very hard to get through them. Only managed to score a single goal against them. Had a little bit of a mixed success in preseason, but the MMR of them, and especially their highest players, definitely putting them well into dev tier.
Do you think, having played them, do you think they'll cope well?
I am not
be looking
sure.
at the bottom end?
I mean, they lost against the Foundation tier top seed, but I'm not entirely sure. I think they can do better, probably. Like, we smurfed in that series and we still got swept. So yeah, I'm not sure. We will see. Coming up, another Shadow Esports roster. And this time it's Shadow Esports Styx with Muchuk on the staff team as well. Making his appearance here as the captain. Last season in Prospect, so you can kind of see like how much the level rose here, as we have someone well in the middle, or rather like towards the bottom side of development here, who were competing in the Prospect the last time around. Not the best preseason at all, but they will likely fare okay against the teams below them.
Yeah, they'll probably have a little better of a season this time around. And yeah, you are right. And I do want to say as well, thank you to everyone that did sign up. We had a lot of latecomers signing up as well. It took a little bit to process, and unexpected as well too. So obviously, anybody that's not new here knows that we went for a very long break. We did a few things earlier in the year, and we had Mount Sundays heading towards this, and then of course with Herbie stepping away from us, we were not sure that we were going to get anywhere close to the level of teams last time, and we were kind of okay with that. We're like, well, it's okay, reduce resources, reduce team, we'll build back from here. But honestly, you guys showed up, and it's really great to see so many teams still coming back to us, and yeah. That's I just wanted to pop that in there. But as Doom was saying, like the skill level, how stacked this is going to be, this entire season. Well, you'll see throughout this stream. But yeah, this is just proof of it right here. We're in development here, and we're already creeping towards GC levels of MMR.
Also, did the stream die, or is it just you? It's just you. Unlucky. But also, other question. With the VOD, we are intending to put it on the YouTube later on. We'll see if we can get around that tonight still, or if it's going to be up tomorrow. But it's definitely going to be up. We're not that deep into it yet anyways, though, so yeah, let's just move on and get deeper into it. And it is the first Pinchman roster. There are quite a bunch of those here. I think it's 3 or 4 overall. And yeah, they had a pretty mixed preseason. They have won against a team that we have not seen yet, so further up, most likely. They have also lost 2 of their matches. Yeah, dev tier, I think, is overall only like a bit more than 100 MMR apart. So it's generally going to be very competitive, but especially this team, just about 3 or 4 MMR higher than the previous one. Newcomers as well, and should be fairly competitive here.
Yeah, I think that we're gonna. I mean, they lost against Shadow Anubis, which was if I'm not mistaken, the bottom seeded team. Yeah, second to bottom seeded team in the development tier. So yeah, maybe this is going to be a ridiculously tight, at least mid battle. We're yet to see the top end of the development tier, but Yeah, 3-1. I mean, you want to be looking at a season where most teams aren't getting swept, and then you've got the seeding right. And it looks like they've had a nice balance of results here against two teams that are higher than them, one that are lower.
Yep. So, moving on, there is one of the teams that has swept their neighboring teams, and it's Blue Lotus. Zeekly, for sure, a name I've read before. They have been sixth in dev tier, apparently, so pretty much exactly where they're seated right now, which indicates at least a little bit of an improvement here, skill-wise, to compete with the now stronger tiers. And yeah, coming right into the middle of this tier.
Yeah, not a great deal to say. I guess six in development. I mean, we're looking around the similar sort of seeding, but they'll want to improve on that surely. I think it could be up for grabs at anybody's game.
Fuse Fusion, all German roster returning once more. They were absent last time around. They did win, I think, a league play before. At least they were in the grand finals or in the playoffs in their respective tier. Last season around, though, finished 5th in development. Did have a pretty decent preseason against lower teams, but did get a 1-3 loss against the team just below them.
You've seen too much Germans in the chat. Yeah, an entirely German team, and yeah, not too much to say. I mean, the last team we saw was sixth in development last season. These were fifth in development last season. So again, everyone's looking to improve, and the closer you get to that top spot, at least seeding, the more confidence you're gonna have going in. I think to the season to go. Yeah, I think we can make the playoffs, top six at least. But you wanna finish first at the end of the
Yeah,
season.
I mean, of course, in the double element bracket, the higher you place in the regular season, the better you get placed into the bracket.
Hmm.
So, like pretty much as you know it from competitive Rocket League, regardless. So yeah, it's just about getting sixth, but anything higher, highly appreciated. Rome Esports, not the very best preseason at all, but only losses to teams above them, and of course that game 5 loss that against the Pinchman Purple here, who are in their tier, but it's Stones, Tremaldinho, Hills, Banja, and Customs, and yeah, I think they have not provided any more info.
No, I mean didn't get swept in preseason. I think that's important. Second in development, they'll want to go for gold this time around, surely.
Yep.
I don't think there's any much more to say on that one.
Nope. There is a lot to say about this logo. But it's Forsaken Allies Derelict. Honestly, what is it even? Like, did I miss something with the sunflower meme? Like, it seems to be all over the place, but isn't like Garden Warfare out for like ages already? I'm not
I,
entirely sure. I think it's not even the last logo with that thing in here.
I turned 30 this year. I would assume you have a better idea at what this is than me.
Well,
Um, there we go.
the preseason not looking great. Can't lie. At least it's all against teams that we haven't seen yet, so they had it tough and they managed to get 4 games in their losses regardless. But coming in as the second seed here, they are for sure expected to make it into the playoffs, as the staff predictions will very likely indicate as well in a bit. And I think there's not much left to do than to take us to the top seed. And that is 3DG Void. A couple of, oh, at least German speaking, we have an Austrian in there. Not the best preseason neither there. But then again, okay, losing against, I think this is, oh no, this is a different, I think this is French E-Break. The E-Break teams all have very similar names. So yeah, all teams they lost to are not in their tier. So surely they can do better in league play.
Yeah, I mean we're going to find out over the next 9 weeks, and they'll obviously be hoping to get out of the gate pretty confidently. Top seed, big pressures, and is that gonna show in the staff predictions? Let's take a look.
We may see. So yeah, in league play at least, we have 3 of our staff members, giving it to them. It's honestly a pretty nicely split prediction here, going a little bit less the further down we go. Forsaken Allies did get their bunch of league play wins as well. I personally went for Fuse Fusion in league play because I think they are able to win a lot over like the span of league play, but they may be lacking a little bit of the clutch factor it takes to win playoffs. I mean, a lot of the staff is disagreeing with me, going for Fuse Fusion in playoffs. I personally went with Chrome here. And yeah, predictions for the top 2 teams coming out left and right as well. Any predictions you want to make?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chrome to be the first spot at the end of the season, but I think Forsaken Allies, like they got 2 game 5s. They did get swept, but they got 2 game 5s, so they know how to play competitive Rocket League, and maybe on a different day they would have had wins on those game 5s. So we'll see if they can pull it out of the bag in the playoffs.
Moving on, Prospect is a single conference tier just as Dev tier. Top 6 go into playoffs, just the same, and starting us off is going to be the next E-Break roster. We've had a bunch of all German teams. It's time for an all French one here, the French E-Break. Yeah, really living up to their name. Getting 2 5-game wins against teams from the Dev tier of their 2 played preseason matches, and thus earning themselves the lowest spot in this Prospect tier.
Well, the French and Rocket League go together very, very well for some reason. The only way is up. They're at the bottom seed, so the only way is up. And yeah, they got 2 game 5 wins. Was it convincing though? Obviously, we didn't see those. I don't think we have the stats right now, but can they produce those wins throughout the season? Well, as I say, French and Rocket League go together very well. Maybe they'll channel their inner Frenchness and bring out some Rocket League. Yeah, I'm struggling for adjectives here. Save me.
Yeah, let's just go on. It is illusory. Oh god, English. Illusory. Bruh, please help me.
Okay. Illusory orange slice.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Not mother tongue, of course, here, but yeah, definitely one of the logos of all time. I think this only ranked so low because it was ranked together with the other Illusory logo, but they had a pretty banging preseason, getting wins over all of the higher up teams in the Dev tier. So yeah, they made their way into Prospect as well. I personally do not know any of the players. They have not provided us with further info to go off here. So yeah, unfortunately, that's gonna be about it of info I can give you from here.
Yeah, I can give you about the same. They'll go in confident, but is the being in that higher tier going to be a shock? We'll see.
We may. And then Ascension Halo making a return. Herbie and Asuna have finally exchanged, well, me with Daddy. So they are 3 people who can play Rocket League actually now. They have had a banging preseason, honestly, sweeping all the competition here. And even though they're ranked fairly low, I mean, it might be staff bias again, but I think quite a bunch of people have them on the radar for going deep in the playoffs run.
Yeah, I mean, Herbie, Asuna, and Eddie are players that I can actually talk about, despite my extended time away from Rocket Sundays. Herbie certainly has a clutch factor that I have witnessed firsthand in the development here,
Yeah.
and I think you might have as well, both on his team and off his team. So definitely not underestimating him. Dedi I've seen play some fantastic Rocket League over the years. Same with Asuna. So potentially a sleeping giant in this tier.
Yes, I will also share the additional info that was given with the sign up to us, which is Master has given Herbie a sock. Herbie is free. So yeah, Herbie, of course, no longer. Well, he has been promoted to regular player, and yeah, let's see how he fares in this prospect tier. Coming up, Legit Solar. They have not given any further info as well. Wild mix of horizontal striped countries. And yeah, very mixed preseason as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more we can say about that. I think Waffle's in the chat somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, saying that they'll get a win against Bomb next time. 3-0. Hopefully it was just an off day for you. You could do with some points throughout the regular season. Especially if you've played them, you know how they play. And is that French e-break that they beat 3-1?
Yes.
No, is that
no,
funky?
Actually, it might be the Freaky E-break roster from Dev
Freaky. Yeah.
The Funky E-break is coming up as well at some point. Maybe it is even the Funky E-break one. It's just, there's a lot. Oh, okay, it is the Funky E-break one. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
They're coming up here again as well. Quite a bunch of known faces here. Dizzy, of course, quite active everywhere. Nakira has been playing for a long time, and I think Random Yokel is a name I can recognize as well. And yeah, Funky E-break, of course, have been around generally as an org for a bunch of seasons already yet. Pretty mixed preseason here, losing to the seed below them, but also getting a good win against the top seed of Dev tier. And yeah, now bang in the middle of this prospect tier. Yeah, 45th on the logo ranking is actually criminal. I ranked this probably in my top 5. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do rankings, but it is a very clean logo, and I do like the different color variations, I have to admit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It works very well for all the different roster, and it kind of has all you need for a logo. But yeah, moving on. Yeah, deservedly so. 58.
Is this last place logo?
No, it's there. There's 59th somewhere. I'm not entirely sure who it is, but there's one that is worse apparently. It is, a wild mix of Scottish people, a Finn, and a sheep from the UK. They have one win in preseason against a team we have not seen yet. It's I think the Knuddelhof crew, and 2 unplayed matches. The Aral Island roster, I think, had some problems, and they have made substitutions to continue playing, and have thus, I think, not played any matches. But yeah, only got one other match in. Here they are.
Here they are. I think that's all we need to say, and we can probably move on to the next one, and that will be Aral Island. We just mentioned. Can't really say too much to their preseason, but Aral Island have been with us for a little bit in various lineups, right?
Oh yeah, this is I think the first time where they have submitted 3 or more rosters even. I think it's 3. It might be 4. All Irish, as the name suggests, and as I had just said before, they did exchange, or rather get 2 subs because they had some availability issues in preseason. They are still intending to play. We are not intending to say the full name. I've googled what it could maybe mean, but the translator was really not having any of this. It was something like admiration of photography or something, but dude, this is not info you can trust on. This is just too much for normal people, I think.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think there's enough Gaelic in here, and we can move on.
Yeah, back to a German team, formerly at least, the Knuddelhof crew. It's the German name for the evolution of Jigglypuff, which is Pummeluff in Germany. But yeah, I think these guys have played together in this constellation before. Even I'm not sure if it was the exact same team before, but yeah, they were in prospect playoffs last time round, but dropped out first round.
Yeah, they'll want to. Well, they don't have a two. We're single conference for prospects. Right in saying that. I'm sure we said that at the start. That's
Yes,
correct,
yes,
isn't it? Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah. Sorry. I can hear a crying baby in the background. It's distracting me. Yeah, we're at GC level MMRs, and they'll want to improve on what they had last time. And at least they know if they make it to the playoffs, they'll have played these teams before. Last season, they'd have played a team they hadn't played before from the other side of the conference, and that would have been where they got knocked out. So, yeah, I think they're hoping to maybe take stock of what's gone on. I think they've not had the best preseason, but that doesn't mean they made playoffs last season. There's no reason they
Yeah.
can't do it again.
Yeah, surely. I mean, they are in the upper half of this prospect tier. I think this is probably the most competitive tier. I'm not sure entirely if it was like with after the moving the teams around, but initially it was like only about 80 MMR apart. So yeah. However, we may see Retirement Fund is the second seed of this one. CJ, Niptrox, Solar, and Raichu. So a couple of known faces on this one as well. We're really excited to see where these guys are headed because, yeah, I don't know. They've been around even in Challenge and Rival tier. Solar, I think they're in Ascension K's. I'm not sure if he was a sub actually in that, but actually he may have played. This is misinformation I'm spreading here most likely. But yeah, they look really strong for the top, or rather the second seed of prospect tier here.
I imagine they're probably in a position where these have played competitive Rocket League at this level or slightly above. I'm not too familiar with their history in competitive Rocket League, but they've been in the leagues, right?
Yeah.
I imagine their name retirement fund is probably alluding to the fact that they've been doing this a while. They're a bit older now, and they're probably a little bit more in this for fun, but there's definitely talent there, and they're probably pleased that they're going to be competing in the top end of prospect tier rather than having to really put the hours in again to compete at above prospect. But definitely one to watch.
And finally, the top seed, Forsaken Allies Voided, is a team that is coming in here. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, as you said, I'm just reading through the info. My phone is about to die, and then we are not gonna get any further insights anymore. But Retirement Fund was indeed a roster of players who have all previously retired. So yeah, as we've seen, they were active in higher tiers before. They are probably a little bit washed up. Forsaken Allies Voided though. Surely they can do fine here. They have only lost matches to teams we haven't seen yet. Taken 2 games in one of the losses, and then got a convincing 3-1 win against the Knudlov crew. So they're certainly one of the favorites for the crown here. And I think we're just going to look at if they are a favorite to the crown in the staff's opinions. So, actually not. Most of us put our faith in Retirement Fund and Ascension Halo. This is probably, once more, due to the fact that, well, Daddy is playing on Ascension Halo, and both Doggo and me are playing on other Ascension rosters. Yeah, the more unbiased votes are on the Retirement Fund. So yeah, gonna be an interesting one. As said before, very competitive prospect tier this time around.
Yeah, I still think that the Ascension Halo are going to surprise, but I'm not sure that I would pick them. Sorry, Herbie. Sorry. Asuna, Deddy. I don't think I would pick them for either top spot or the winners of the playoffs, but I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'd
I
be
think so
surprised
too.
if they didn't.
Like, I would be extremely surprised if they'd go top in league play, but I feel like they could potentially have a miracle run in the playoffs coming in from like one of the lower positions. But yeah, that is prospect tier for you. Now we're heading into where the fun begins. 18 team challenger tier. So we have 2 conferences. Top 5 make it to playoffs again. And starting off is well, where we're going to be starting off with ODL Blizzards here. Yeah, mostly Dutch roster here. Did have a okay preseason, I guess. Lost against second seed of Prospect, but won against the first one. So yeah, they were in rival before. So surely they are, yeah, somewhat able to be competitive in this challenger tier regardless.
Yeah, I don't really see much more to say on that. They'll if with previous experience in the rival playoffs, they'll probably be feeling a bit more at home in Challenger, and so we'll see how that get on. Bottom tier, bottom seed. As I said last tier, there's only one way up, and they are one of 2 bottom seeds as well. Of course, we will see the other side of Challenger soon. But yeah, one of 9 on this side, and yeah, bottom seeds. Only way is up from here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, only 9 teams has the advantage that you have it a little bit easier to get into playoffs in the first place, in the 5th. But yeah, moving on to Purple Lotus, second one of the Lotus teams, with KJ, Boris, and Rocket. Yeah, suffered a crushing defeat against the Owl Gang of one of the unplayed matches of the RL Ireland mishap. And then got a Game 5 win out of preseason. So not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, we're in Challenger tier now, and the rank's 1500 now. And you'll notice that they're going up a lot slower compared to the last couple. I think this is Challenger, Rival, Elite.
Yes.
Are going to be absolutely stacked so close together that everybody's going to have to be fighting for the wins.
I mean, Challenger tier here is like 18 teams, and I think the overall difference between the highest and lowest team is still only about 120 MMR.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, like league play is going to be fun, but playoffs are going to be, yeah, they're going to be fire. I'm already looking forward to it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Moving on, next Team Serene team. I think they are the org with the most teams this time around in Rocket Sundays, and it is Subete. I'm not sure. This time around here in the middle of Challenger tier. Good preseason for them. I think they are generally a new, a new roster. From what I'm reading here, they have put together some free agents. And yeah, like, I don't know. They're just gonna see what's gonna happen, I guess, in this challenger tier.
Yeah. Sorry, that
Yeah, I don't know.
the newer teams. It's hard to say. But we'll move on to GC Grinders Esport. They played in Prospect last time. Hard Flam played in Prospect last time, and good preseason as well. Not really too much to say. Maybe you have some insights.
Yeah, from what I know, is that I think they have another GC Grinders team here as well. So this is one of 2. Bottom of the logo ranks. Not quite sure why. I mean,
59.
I can.
There it is.
Yeah, I like from what I would suspect, and like you were saying about like the Knudluft before in the chat. Why is this so low? This is just like some copy pasted image, right? Like it's not an actual logo you've made, which is why I think this is maybe so low. But yeah, it does definitely represent a GC grinder, I guess. And yeah, moving on. to
I was going to say going from the bottom
yeah.
bottom rank to another top 10, and that is a nice clean logo. It is over committee.
Yeah, Overcommittee are returning as well. Slimy, the only one who was here before, half in Ascension K's as well, together with Solar last time round. This is going to be a very competitive one here. Has been picked by quite some of the staff members, I think, to win something at least in this tier. And their preseason was not too bad. A sweep, 5-game win, 5-game loss. Can't really complain too much about it. As you said, logo rank on fleek as well. Moving on.
Only dropped 2
Yeah.
points. Sorry, they only dropped 2 points for a perfect preseason there as well. So very good.
So Pink Lotus, next Lotus team. And in here together with their sister roster of Purple Lotus. Letrix, Melibelli, and Twist, they have played before here, at least Letrix has. Not the best preseason here, have suffered a Game 5 defeat against the team we've seen before. But they're well up there in the seeding and surely able to compete here for the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll want to do better than last season for sure. At least Letrix will want to improve on last season. New lineup. Yeah, not much more to say on that either.
Yep.
Let's move forward.
To Legit X is the second, and I'm not sure. I think there may be one more team of them very high up. But yeah, another one of this new org that we hadn't had before here. And thus, there is no further info really. Their preseason was not too good, but they're still placed nice and well into the upper half of Challenger tier. And hopefully they can recover in the regular season a little bit.
Yeah. They're high place because of their MMR, and I think there's definitely talent on the team.
Vulpes Ferilata coming in here. These players have been active, but on all different rosters in the past. They have not been very active in the preseason so far, only a 1-3 defeat. Yeah, mixed success in the Challenger tier and in the Elite tier even. So yeah, Jin there having some experience in the way higher areas of Rocket Sundays, which is certainly going to help them to compete in this Challenger tier.
Yeah, no outright silverware from their previous season, but I think together they'll, as you say, I hope to put that experience to good use and make a good season out of the experience that they've got.
And finally, Criminals returning here, 6th in Challenger Amber last time around, but this time they are the top dogs here. The mostly Dutch team, I think, has had at least Credif and B-Dog on their team in the past. I'm not sure if all 5 players were on there, but they did reasonably well in preseason. Only suffered 1 sweep by a team we have not seen, so at least they will not face it in league play. Also did reasonably well in the logo ranks. Yeah, I don't know. It's just an all-around good start for them.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. The Criminals have been around for a little bit. Yeah, good luck to them. I think they've had mixed success over the last couple of years. So yeah, good luck to them.
So, final overview. There is a lot of trust being put into Criminals. Keep in mind, the predictions on the right side are only happening once over both conferences, because can only be one playoff winner. So 4 out of the 6 of us who did predictions beforehand placed their trust in the Criminals. A lot of trust in Overcommittee as well. Doggo there banking them for both the tier win and the playoff win. But yeah, generally Criminals seem like the heavy favorites in this one.
Yeah, I think I would probably back Vulpers to win this side of the tier, but I don't think I'm going to make a prediction for the playoffs until I see both sides. But I think Vulpers really have the chance to pull it out the bag and earn themselves some victory, some sweet, sweet victory that they didn't quite taste last season.
So, moving on into the bomb. Finally, I think I've seen people. Wait, why is the logo ranked third? Okay.
I was just about to say that exact same thing.
That is kind of criminal. But yeah, I might be.
Criminals was second, actually.
Yeah, true. I guess. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, man. It's the bottom seed here of this side of the challenger tier. They're finally here. They did have a banging preseason, 2-3-0 sweeps, and yeah. I'm not sure how this is third, Panda. I'm really not sure, but yeah. Apparently, someone found this very appealing.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. That I
Yeah.
think that's the most interesting part of this. Engineer says it should be 55th.
Oh
Okay,
God. Okay. Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
that makes sense. That makes
Okay.
more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought our staff was yeah, maybe blind or something. I don't know, but yeah. Moving on to team CRZ, with 11th in the logo ranking. This makes a little bit more sense, I think, then. All English roster here. I think it's a new roster as well. So yeah, really not much I can personally tell you about this. Preseason went, yeah, closely contested, really.
Yeah,
But yeah.
2-5 game series for Team Brexit, and we move on.
Yeah, and what better team to follow than another Ireland roster? All Irish
Ooh,
again, as it
that might be a
is.
nice little rivalry.
Yeah, 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 as it is supposed to be here. But yeah, they did not have the best preseason here. Lost against GC Grinders on the other side, and I think the Team Serene roster they had got swept by us on the other side as well. Um, not sure where they will go. It's really the first time I think our island have like more than one team present. So I'm curious to see what they can do in the lower tiers.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it's not the best preseason, but there was a lot of issues amongst the org as a whole. Hopefully resolved, and they'll be on to good fortunes. We'll see.
And there we have it. It's the Owl Gang. I've seen Axelos in the
Hey.
chat already, waiting for the moment, waiting to show off the banging last season record and preseason record. They have won this whole shebang in the challenger tier last time round, and even though they are fairly low in the seeding here, I think they certainly go in here to some extent as one of the favorites.
Yeah, I have to agree. Top 10 ranking on the logo as well. No points dropped in preseason, of course. Game fives. So maybe on a different day, but I think their pedigree of being challenger tier champions coming into the challenger tier, they are the defending champions. If you're on this side of the challenger tier, these are the guys you want to look at taking down. I think, yeah, the defending champions. You don't want them to get to playoffs, right? Because they clearly can clutch.
Yeah, yeah. Preferably not if you are any other team, just like SCR Fusion. I think this is a new coming team as well. A couple of Englishmen and a Dutchie. Yeah, a little bit of some close calls, it seems, in preseason. 2 Game 5 losses. I mean, yeah, it's of course devastating, but in the end, in league play, we do still have like the good old scoring format where you get 1 point per game win and then an extra point if you win the series. So even here, they would have gone out of these 2 losses with 4 points to their name still.
Yeah, SCR established in 1978, SCR Esports.
Yeah.
And yeah, 5 games. Yeah, in regular league play, those are valuable results, even though they're losses. Like that's the best you can get out of a loss. 2 points of each, and that can make your position in making the playoffs a lot more tenable. Yeah, so it could have gone different either way, but they've got some experience now going into with some 5-game losses, and they'll be looking to get their first one maybe in week 1.
So, Brave Esports Bonk, the first Brave Esports roster here, is Rox, Wessel, Mox, and Nor. Oh, so Rox and Mox, this was a pleasure to cast in the past. I can remember one game where, yeah, I don't know, XD Clan, I think back then, yeah, played someone else who all had similar names, but yeah. These guys have been around to an extent at least, so they have some experience. Did not get the most experience out of preseason. Only won 3-0 sweep against a team on the other side of Challenger. And yeah, with that, I think there is no reason to not, or to think these guys are not going to be able to make it to the playoff brackets at least.
Yeah, I agree. They've got the experience and they'll want to improve on where they've been previously. Yeah, there's not much more to that. 1 win preseason. What more can you ask for? Well, I can ask for the next team, and the next team is Symbiotes Chaos. They are of challenger pedigree, but not quite playoff material in the past. Maybe this season.
Yeah, it's I think the only Symbiotes roster that has signed up for this season. But it's a couple of known faces, as you said. Yeah, mixed preseason, but not too bad. I think they will be fairly fine up here. 4th in the logo ranking as well. The Symbiotes, I think, has been a very liked logo in the past votes as well. But yeah, moving on to seed number 2, and we have another Brave Esports team. I think there is only 2 actually, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. But Brave Esports Wolves are in here as well. Part Dutchy, part English as well. All of them have been playing in some extent here before. 2 players with rival tier experience, and yeah, very mixed preseason experience.
But experience nonetheless, and being in those situations can help. Can help in the future when you return to those situations. I'm sure they'll want to be looking at aiming for playoffs at the very minimum, and they've got another roster to beat. You don't want to come second to the other team in your org. You want to be the top dogs, and they are seeded the top dogs. Will they be at the end? We'll see.
We may see, yeah. It's really only, I think, like 20 MMR between them, but yeah, can be very close, very interesting. And ultimately, the last team to overcome is Team Matrix. Flix making a return here, and yeah, getting some new teammates from other teams here. Nick has played in RS before as well. Rival and elite players here. This is, yeah, crazy talent theoretically, but then you look at their preseason records and you see they lost against the Criminals, who are not even in this tier. I don't know, maybe a little bit of a mixed start here.
Yeah, possibly. I've always enjoyed watching Flix play previously, and I think I've seen Nick play as well. I think it's going to be talent at the top, but yeah, that preseason doesn't look so good against the Criminals. But Criminals are a good team on the day. They always have been. Yeah, we'll see. They're top seed for a reason, and yeah, are they a favorite of the staff? We shall see.
Well, they aren't really, for the tier at least. Daigai has put them as the playoff winners at least, and that is really the only prediction that matters, technically. a lot of people backing
Yeah.
Brave Esports Wolves. Well, my brother and I personally have gone for the Owl Gang instead. I do think they are a force to be reckoned, and I'm looking forward to maybe catch a game or two of them, if it's possible, to see that force in action. Any predictions on your side?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to follow with Brave Esports Wolves. I think I said this about the team on the other side that I predicted would finish first. I can't remember the name of it now. I will just double check that. But Vulpes Ferrilata, I think I said they will get first, and I wasn't sure who would win. It's going to be an experience game. I think this challenge season. Yeah, it's going to be one of them two teams to win the playoffs, but I'm not sure that I can pick. So we'll move on.
All right then. So, moving on, we do into the rival tiers. It is once again 18 teams, top 5 per conference, make playoffs, and let's get right in. First one is the first one of the Death Cloud org teams. I think there's 2 this season, and this is the Avalanche side of them. Yeah, they were 8th in Elite beforehand, at least Lucky was. I think the others are relative newcomers then. And their preseason, yeah, with mixed success, I guess. They lost a game to a team we have not seen yet, and they have won one as well against one of them.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more I can say with that, other than yet again, you can only go up from the bottom, right?
Yep. And moving on to Omen Prophecy, and there we have the team that has given the Death Cloud roster their 3-1 defeat. 4th in Prospect playoffs last time around, but back then they played under Team Serene, have apparently switched orgs at this point, and yeah, they are the same people though, if I can read this info correctly. And their preseason does not leave much more to be desired, honestly.
That's a big jump, Prospect to rival as well.
Yep.
Might find it a little more difficult in rival, but yeah, it's a new season.
We may see. Pink Lemonade coming up next. There's another full British team here after the one we've had before. Violet, Ninus, Ryuji probably, and Leah. Played as symbiotes before. At least Violet did, under the symbiotes org. Good preseason here, and we'll have a tough time as 3rd lowest seed in this one regardless, I guess. But yeah, I got not much more to say, so I think we could just move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Redirect Esports. First in the Challenger playoffs with Anthony in Owl Gang. I think he's in the chat somewhere. A 3-0, 3-1, and 3-2 win across the board in preseason. Great way to start, and they're going to go ahead and, well, first in Challenger, rival is the next one up.
Yep.
You can only go for gold, right?
Yep.
They've won everything so far. Their last game in Rocket Sundays was Anthony's last game in Rocket Sundays was a win. I think we've seen Hazard before as well. Yeah, they could be a big time sleeper.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, preseason start like this is just setting you up for greatness. And even though rival is a little jump up from challenger, theoretically, it's really only like 100 MMR. I think 150 is it for rival as a whole. So yeah, it's very competitive. It's going to be very stacked here again. Really looking forward to see these guys compete against the stool sample. It is Badass, Little Pace, Ginger Ninja, and Rob98. Well, I unfortunately don't know Rob98, but yeah, this is a quite legendary roster, I guess. Badass, Little Pace, I think, all the way from back in season 3 or so they competed. I'm not sure.
Batters and Ginger Ninja, I think season 3. Little Pace joined in season 5 with Percy. Notable stools that are missing from this roster, of course, being Percy and big man OG Clay.
Yeah,
Season 1, OG Clay.
I guess
Yeah,
like
shout out.
Martin would have been expected with Ginge together as well. Martin, Ginge, and Clay, the poops before.
Yeah, Martin again is another notable stool.
Yeah, but yeah,
So if you're out there,
logo is sick. Yeah, apparently the staff was of a different opinion, but their preseason was good. I guess they got 2 wins and a game 5 loss. I don't know. I probably should have backed them more in my predictions. I may have overlooked these guys. Let's see. TRC Impact. It's been a while since we've had our last full German roster. They have not been doing too great in preseason, though. As far as I'm aware, this is an entirely new org coming to us, and also a new set of players. So yeah, unfortunately, really not much further info about these guys.
Yeah, I guess we move on.
Yep.
And we move on to Stonehenge. No logo, so they just get a nice stock Sunday's Esport Diamond with their name in it. Lynx, Roll, Back, and Keza. We've seen Roll and Lynx before last season. Challenger and rival pedigrees. Winners, at least first in rival Sienna in the league play for Lynx, and Roll with first in Challenger playoffs. So again, it's another essentially promotion type situation, but we'll have an ex-teammate to face off against. And they're now in the rival tier. They're in Big Boy Land, and a good start to the preseason as well. They only dropped 2 points, so near perfect preseason. Yeah, well, I don't know if you've got much more to say.
Yeah, no, not much. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to have different tier winners on the same roster here coming in. But yeah, 3rd seed only. There's 2 teams even, having more to offer. Another RL Ireland roster. I think this must be the 3rd one now, and there's at least 1 more to come. So yeah, the RL Ireland Goobers. This may be the only one we can actually pronounce. And they had a little bit of a mixed experience there. Got 1-3 defeat from the team just below them, but did also win a game against the team either above them or on the other side of this rival tier.
Yeah, not much more to say about those, I don't think. So we'll move on to Godalians Arisen now. 6th in Elite Scarlet, that was TMB. And Godalians do not put out bad rosters, I don't think. I could be mistaken.
I do think, like, it rings a bell. They usually do sort of well in the org, I think. They did do well in the preseason here as well. 3-1 wins against 2 of the teams we have not seen yet, and of course 1 of the defeats. But yeah, they are the top seeds here, and I think that will show in the staff predictions as well. And here we have, 2 of us backing them to win this division, and also 2 of us backing them for the championship. So yeah, they look strong. Ireland are getting a lot of trust by the staff team as well. Yeah, it's a little bit of a boring one in terms of staff predictions here. We really just went with the top guys, apparently.
I'm backing Stool Sample all the way. First and first. There we go.
Honestly, if I was aware who was on that team at the time I made my predictions, I would have backed them as well. So, yeah.
All the way.
Yeah, for real, for sure. So, let's move on to the other side of the rival tier. And we start off with one of the plenty Team Serene rosters, Kamigami here. Wild mix of nations on that roster as well. And Weekend has some RS experience from before, got 7th in prospect tier last time around. They will have a little bit of a harder time in Rival.
Yeah, they will, but I mean they've got 2 other teammates to hopefully back them up on that. I mean, not the greatest preseason, especially a loss to the Criminals, but you know, it's just one of those things. It could have gone different. It's a 5-game loss. It could have gone different on another day.
Yeah.
So can
So
only go up.
yeah, for sure. I think if I'm not mistaken, one of their players is like a decent bit higher than the average MMR here. So maybe, yeah, I'm not sure if the how the performance was, but they are probably a little bit better than it looks here right now. So let's see who they gotta compete with. There is the GC Grinders Academy that is somehow higher than the main roster of the GC Grinders. I mean, maybe the GC Grinders are like the better GC Grinders because they still have to grind to GC, and these guys have already made it, so what's the purpose of them being GC Grinders? But I'm not entirely sure. They are gonna have a tough time in Rival here as well. Second lowest seed, have at least gotten themselves a preseason win against Caladrius, who we have not seen yet, but they have also lost a game to a team on the other side in preseason. So, yeah.
A little bit of prospect pedigree now in Rival tier, so a big jump from last season, and yeah, make the most of that opportunity.
Yeah.
And there they are, Caladrius, who we hadn't seen yet. Now we've seen them. 2 5-game losses, but they have some previous experience. 4th in the Challenger playoffs, no easy feat, and first in development. So we've at least got Deadly Dom, who knows how to put a few wins in.
Yeah, I mean, from way down, to be fair, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's Challenger and Prospect still between that, so it's a good step up for him. But yeah, I think they did okay in preseason and should be competitive in this rival tier. Moving on to Owls Esports. We've seen them a bunch before. All English roster once more. And banging preseason, even though both of their wins came against teams from the Challenger tier, if I'm not mistaken, even though it was very high seed.
Yeah, another Brexit team, and yeah, there's not much more to say. The facts are on screen, and we'll see how they get on.
Yep. So, another Aral Island roster, and if I'm not mistaken, this is still not the last. So apparently they have submitted a lot of all Irish rosters this time around. This is the 4th one, so there's at least one more. It's gonna be 5 plus RLI rosters. Yeah, they did get a taste of that stool sample apparently. 3-0 sweep against them. Red Lotus defeat coming through as well. And yeah, new team as well. I think Aral Island here for the first time submitting multiple rosters, and in that way, we don't really have much more info on them neither. Right.
So moving on to Red Lotus, and looking very mixed on the preseason. They didn't get swept once though, and I think that's important. 9th in Challenger Amber was Lengi. 6th in Rival Sienna was Spacey, and TK made the playoffs in Challenger. So a team that knows defeat, and some of those players sort of know how to put themselves in contention. But it's all to play for. It's stacked.
So, moving on to 3rd seed of this side of the Rivals tier, another full English roster. I'm not sure if the preseason matches are actually all unplayed, because if I'm not mistaken, there were only like 2 or teams who have not played any preseason matches, so this would surprise me at least a little bit. But they're here with the info missing. I think, yeah. You were the reserve team.
Reserve team.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we have introduced reserve teams this time around for dropouts, and since there were some in preseason, we have seeded Deathcloud here. I mean, welcome you guys. Of course, you did not have preseason matches then, but it's nice that you're filling out the spot. And yeah, hope you're gonna feel at home in the rival tiers.
Yeah, and we'll move on now to another team, Serene Noboru, and Matt, the captain, also on the staff, and I'm sure ranked his logo much higher than 32nd, but you know, it's all right.
Yeah.
10th in rival Topaz, so they finished last season.
Yeah.
And I'll say it again: this you can only go up or stay the same.
To
At
be
least you...
fair, their preseason was really good apparently, because God Alliance are the top seed on the other side, and
yeah,
they
that is
beat
true.
them 3-0. The Goobers, I think, were also on the other side, and well, 5-game defeat is okay, and the last team we have not seen yet, so they are 100% above them, probably not even in the same tier. So Team Serene Noboru returning, hopefully doing a little bit better than I mean, they can't do worse. It's only 19 this times around, so yeah, we'll see who they have to deal with the top seed here, and that is Omen Ostara. Another Omen roster here. Trixie returning, and the entire roster really is, as they were 9th in rival before as Omen Esports just last time round, but Omen has multiple rosters this time, and yeah, preseason did not go too great for them, but yeah, they have a chance to do better this season in rival.
So our bottom two, interestingly, our bottom two of Topaz last season, and now our top two seeded of Topaz this season. So they're got to be feeling pretty good about the chances for a little bit of redemption. Maybe we'll see a nice little battle between those, like two returning rosters that would have been battling to not be last season, could be battling to be first this season. I think that's really cool. A really cool idea.
All right, so let's see the predictions on this side. Engineer, the only one backing a team from this side of rival tier to win the playoffs in Omen Ostara. Both him and I backed Team Serene Noboru for the league play win. A lot of support for Owls Esports, as they have had an amazing preseason as well. And Doggo going for the Red Lotus roster here. Any picks for you?
Nope, still Sample all the way. Big up the boys.
All right. So moving on to Elite 20
just before
teams.
we move on,
Yeah.
Just before we move on, we've been talking for about an hour. Should we take 5 minutes?
I personally could just go through. It's like 30 more teams. I mean, if you want an hour, a short break, we can do that.
I do need to visit the little boys' room, so yeah, I think
okay.
A few minutes break. It won't be long.
Right. Okay. Enjoy a few minutes of silence until you will inevitably be jump scared by one of us talking again while we leave you with the screen. So yeah, be right back. Oh yeah, because I'm reading it in the chat, the context is that his 1-year-old son is sick, which is why this entire thing is late as well. So he's not just visiting some boys. It's okay, right? Okay, I'll just stay here and talk then, Panda. It's okay. Surely. we can talk about something. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, give me some material. No prize pool for Elite. Okay, yeah, this is actually something we can talk about as well. We have no sponsors, so basically, prize pool in the past has been paid by us, the directors, mainly Aaron, I, and when he was still on the team, Herbie and Faded did put some in as well. However, neither of us is really rich, and yeah, honestly, like this time around, we only have like 2 competitions per year. With Mount Sundays, we had a 2v2 season. I think this was still in this year, and then now this 3v3. But even that is like in the past we've had like, I don't know, 5 to 700 euros or something. Like it was a lot of prize pool, and it's just not feasible. Like we just can't afford to just put 1,000 books in every year here, and thus Master Tier will have a prize pool, but this time around the other tiers will not have. And like last season we did it as like some sort of surprise, given back to the lower tiers for everybody who just keeps on returning, but it's just not feasible. Like, yeah, kind of sorry for everybody else, but I think like the thing we have Rocket Sundays for is the feeling of community and like kind of the fun in it. I feel like out of all the leagues, and I can like talk from my Formula Sundays experience as well, because I'm running the Formula 1 league. It's always like the place where you get together with your friends and just play for fun. So yeah. So this was a break talk. I'm not sure Aaron is here again, but you're still on mute on stream. If you still need a minute or so, you can have that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Potentially, like. Yes, fair enough. I'll just put you back on stream as well, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. As we were talking, I think there were discussions about giving Elite a smaller prize pool because, as just said, we just can't afford a big one. Maybe that is still being updated through the season. We'll see what our financial options are at that point.
Yeah, I feel like Maisie and I had discussed the Elite tier getting some money. I cannot. It'll be written down somewhere, but right now it's not going to be easy to find.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I do apologize if you're disappointed about the prize pool for Elite. I'm sure that there was something, but I could be wrong. We'll see.
Yep.
We'll get that information in the Discord. Do apologize for the confusion.
Yeah, like, okay, with a little bit of background info and stuff, like, I think you have already seen, and we've talked about it as well, Staff Team is a little bit shorter, Rocket Sundays is gonna inevitably be a little bit smaller. I think last time around we were at like 120 teams or something. Well, that's not too bad, it's all good. We're just here for the fun. And we're here to see the Elite tier teams, actually. So, 20 teams, this is 10-team conferences again. Top 5 per conference, just as in the 2 double conference tiers below, go into playoffs, and we're starting off with the first Elite tier roster. And
that's top 10 ranking. That's a nice. Sorry,
yeah, no, go ahead.
In there. Sure. Yeah, another owl logo, but this one takes 7th. I think we've got 2 in the top 10 now. Owl logos.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Owl Gang logo, of course, goated. You can see it in the preseason fixtures as well. There is another Owl logo that we're gonna see at some point, as the 3-0 win there indicates. old Spanish team. I think the first one we've seen this time round. They were 8th in Master, Sora that is, last time round. So they have experience playing high up there. But yeah, the MMR numbers in Elite a little bit more spread out, and well, the later it gets, the more ridiculous it's gonna get. Luminate Esports here, lowest seed coming in, and moving up. We have another Ascension roster. Ascension Luna is... I mean, Ascension is pretty much just... The rosters are just, I don't know, kind of inbreeding between seasons and picking up players who want to play together. So we have 4 players who have played on different teams last time around, but are now coming together as Ascension Luna. Yeah, a lot of people I'm excited about. Decent preseason as well. Did only suffer defeat against their sister team Sakura. And yeah, in the past they've been in Rival and Challenger. Now they have a new challenge ahead of themselves in this Elite tier.
Yeah, and these players, mixture of these players have experience in, especially in Rocket Sundays, 2s of knowing how to win playoffs. If I remember right, Kurtzer has won, and Cherry has won. Maybe Moggy, I'm not sure. Herbie, if Herbie was here, he would know exactly who won what, and unfortunately, my brain doesn't not work.
Maybe
as
I
well.
think there's enough Ascension people in the chat who could
yeah,
add
maybe.
But I'm fairly certain that Kurtz and Cherry have both won a tier at some point. They've been around forever, so yeah.
It's another team where we're seeing a lot of good experience pulled together to compete in a stacked tier. I mean, they are second from the bottom in terms of seeding out of 10. And I know all these players to be of quality.
Yeah. So, there we have another Owl team, Nocturne Esports this time around. And it's 2 Dutchies and a Belge together here. Yeah, lost 3-0 to the bottom seed of this tier, but did also win a game in 5 against another team we have not seen yet, so either above them or on the other side of Elite. Yeah, new team. There's not much more info I can give you, unfortunately. So yeah, I think we'll just move on.
Yeah, and that owl logo didn't make the top 10, unfortunately.
It's the outstander of the owl logos, but yeah.
Okay, Newcastle Ninjas. Jonathan, welcome back to Rocket Sundays with your team. First in rival playoffs, they are defending rival champion. Well, they're not defending. They are rival champions and have seen a promotion to Elite. They'll feel like they've been rewarded on that. Can they compete? Well, there's a lot of teams around that skill level. It is going to be hard. Yeah. It's going to be difficult. So, yeah, you guys are proven champions in the previous tier. Can you do it again?
It is hard to say with only one played preseason match, but then again, Alpha Surge somewhere in the Elite tier, either in this one or on the other side, and a sweep to get things going. Definitely a good start for this team here. And well, you only need to make 5th to get into the playoffs after all, so definitely possible. Last 5 stars Cosmos is one of 2 last 5 stars rosters, all Spanish here. And honestly, with a decent preseason run here.
Can I just say, 22, ranked 22 in MMR. We're over 1800 now.
Yeah.
This is scary. It is so scary to see Elite at this level. It's awesome, don't get me wrong, but it is scary. It is just crazy.
It's kind of crazy, really. I mean, I'm looking forward to see them. They've had a competitive preseason against other Elite level teams, right bang in the middle of this side of the Elite tier. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be good, surely. So, next Pinchman roster. It took us a while, honestly. Pinchman Blue. fifth and sixth in rival playoffs. They got eliminated early here for Briggs. Before preseason, not too great, but all their losses are coming from other elite tier teams, and 2 of them in 5 games. So I think you can't complain too much. They're still going to be very competitive here. 1900 MMR is just the average of this team. So, and we're getting into the scary regions.
Yeah, there's a team of 1900 average MMR that lost 3 games in a row. Very scary indeed.
Well,
a team that's won 3 games in a row.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Shadow Esports Abyss, Master Tier experience, came in the bottom half, but yeah, they didn't get to sweep anyone, but convincing preseason, 12 points on the board, and yeah, compare that to the, as we said, the team before that is. Yeah, it's just scary, and we've got an American on the team.
Yeah, and we've got Emils on the team as well. Formula Sundays admin, our goat, as Nitro is saying in the chat. Yeah, what the hell is Emils from F1 doing here? Yeah, it's interesting, honestly. The like sometimes how many people. I mean, I guess it's maybe because we do both, and there's like a little bit of overlap. But like F1 players and Rocket League players, sort of often the same people, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on. Shalala. It is a full Dutch team, and yeah, 1 sweep, 1 getting swept, and 1 loss against the team below them. Logo rank.
Do you think they have permission to use the image of that
I
person?
am not sure. I do not recognize the person, so maybe it's their grandma. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, mixed preseason. They did take an L to Abyss, as we saw them earlier, but 2 teams we haven't seen yet. They did beat one of them. Could be the other side of Elite. Yeah, Logo ranking 55, not a particularly big shock.
Yep. So, Royal 5 coming up next. Well, 3 times UK and 1 English guy. Yeah, they did get the win against the Pinchman Blue, who are in this tier as well, but also did lose against one of the teams we have not seen yet, so either higher or on the other side of Elite. Newcomers, no data from the last seasons, so not really much more to say about them as well. Can't really provide much further info, though I will say I think the Logo deserved better than 30th, probably.
Maybe. I don't know that I would agree too much. I think it's probably right in the middle. Is probably right where it should be.
All right then. Top seeds.
I'm assuming this logo is not supposed to be 3rd. Engineer.
I don't know, man. I voted this a 10. Like, I love this logo. I loved it back then. I'm so glad Blauhighball return. Trizzleton, Noisy, iconic duos roster as well. And, well, iconic in Man Sundays too. So, yeah, no, yes. It's actually 3rd. Yeah, okay.
It's actually 3rd. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but fully deserved in my opinion. Yeah, they did not have a good preseason, really. But yeah, they're the top seed of Elite. They're gonna be competitive. I'm already looking forward to see them. As said,
yeah,
a very fun roster in the past.
Definitely one that will be wanting to make waves in the playoffs. And the staff agree. The staff big time agree.
Yep.
4 votes for first, 4 votes for first in playoffs, and yeah. I'm not really surprised, to be honest.
I'm overdosing on copium here. Ascension Luna, it's gonna be the miracle run. Like Kirby's saying, no Ascension derbies. What a shame. They are gonna meet in the finals, surely. No, but seriously, Blauhighball, I think they're gonna cook hard. are probably way better in contention to run away with the title overall as well, as indicated by the overwhelming majority of the staff votes. Shadow Esports favored by Engineer and Yanuman here for the tier win. I can imagine that very well. It seems like they had a banging preseason. But yeah, this is Elite Ruby. Now onto the Scarlet side of things.
Illusory Pensioners, and a nice little pre-season, and they've been here before as just Illusory. 5th, 6th in the Elite playoffs, so they've got a little bit of experience in how to get into those games of big pressure, but couldn't make it past. I'm going to assume that's the second round, unfortunately for them. And they'll want to do better this time. They got another chance, another whack at Elite, and the preseason says that they're ready for it.
Yeah, for sure. Good for them to have Elite playoffs experience already, because I think they're gonna need it. As we've seen, Elite is getting into very, very high MMR ranges here, and yes, it's gonna be tough for them to compete here. The Pinchman Red is another derby missed. I know Herbie has been talking about the Ascension derby because there is an Ascension roster somewhere in here. But the Pinchmen also avoid each other for the regular season. Cameron here, I think, has definitely played before Jaden and Cameron on the Pinchman Blue last time round in Rival. Quite a jump up in MMR. And yeah, they have a win against the bottom seeds on the other side of the Elite tier, at least. So, something to show for their efforts to get into Elite.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more I can say. They're sort of moving on to Ascension. There it is, the other Ascension roster we were talking about. Sakura, Panda, and Faded, two previous Sunday's esport directors. I know Herbie is, we've already been through Herbie's team as well. And with Donut and Iris, and a team that knows how to play. They know how to play, they know how to win. They've shown that in preseason. And anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, not really. It's the last of the Ascension rosters, the highest ranked MMR wise, 4 rosters overall. And they have a rival experience, but this is Elite now. It's gonna be a different beast. Will be a little bit harder for them. But their preseason looked good. They got a sweep over Luna on the other side, and a 3-1 win over Alpha Search, who are ranked above them in this side of Elite tier. So it's
just
looking good for them. Yeah.
Just want to say before we move on as well, that obviously we've talked about the prize pool a little earlier. It's lower and it's capped, so we're going to, for the foreseeable, cap it around €250 and distribute as it is. And we've opened up to donations for the first time, and I know that Panda and Faded have put forward some donations towards the prize pool for this season. So I just want to say thank you to them, and if you are interested, the details can be found in the Discord if you want to help contribute, or of course you can support us in game in the item shop in both Rocket League and Fortnite with code SunEsport and hashtag Epic Partner. But yeah, thank you to Panda and Faded this season for contributing and helping us keep the prize pool sustainable.
Yeah, Engineer has also just informed us over the fact that Alpha Search has dropped out in the meantime, so they are indeed not ranked above in Elite. And I've also been informed that I'm apparently about to play clubs afterwards. But yeah, okay, that's a different beast. So, Shugo. This is a rather unsuccessful preseason roster here, but one that has decent success, I guess, on the individual players in past appearances in Rocket Sundays. Very wild mix of nations here coming together, and yeah, we will see where they'll end up.
Plenty of elite experience, and as you say, not the best start, but Both those teams are on the other side, so we've got a clean slate coming in. Another US player as well. Not sure if that's just a sub or someone that will get regular playtime. But yeah, it's always good to see non EU players involved.
Yeah, it is. Also, shout out to Panda for the gift subs here. Lovely. As we go on to a lovely team here, ODL Storm. Second ODL roster here. Aaron cashing in as well. And yeah, preseason here, 2 losses for these guys. But yeah, the MMR still indicates they should be well in the middle of this elite tier. And yeah, have not appeared here before. It's gonna be yeah, I don't know. I can't really say if it's gonna be tough for them or anything. So yeah.
I mean, again, we're looking at 1,800 MMR players, teams even. It could go either way. It's just stacked. It's just so stacked.
Oh. Boo. Esports. Or buh. I don't know. How would a British person say this?
Buh.
Yeah.
Like bruh without the r.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, new people coming in here, even though I'm sure I've heard some of the names before. Good preseason for them here, as they've won against the Pinchman Blue on the other side, and also 3-1 against the team seated just below them. As before, newcomer team. Yeah, not much more info we can give you right now.
Mm-hmm. And rank logo 59th. I feel like we also had another 59th, so
yeah, there may be ties.
Tie 59th for the worst logo we have. Somebody's asking about the prize pool for this elite tier. We did decide on it and didn't make it public because we were going to do it here, but there seems to be a bit of confusion. So
we can just announce it post stream. I think it's probably better to incriminate ourselves here. But yeah. Karasu Eaters B. So presumably the first one of Karasu Eaters teams. All Spanish. It seems like the old Spanish rosters are found rather towards the top of Rocket Sundays. Yeah, not very successful in preseason though. Yeah, also a newcomer team. And once more.
And a full Spanish team.
Yep. Once more, no real further info, I guess, that we can give you, as we have not really seen them much before.
So we'll move on to Brush and Dash. Doesn't get a logo ranking because he didn't submit one, so they get the box standard Sundays Esport Diamond with their team name within it. And nice mix of nationalities, a nice mix of results, and yeah, all new players if I'm not mistaken. If you're in the chat, let us know if you've played previously, but I don't think I recognise any of the names.
So, Atom Unity, yet another full Spanish roster. They were 8th in Master before. Second seed in this elite tier this time round. Could not quite make the cut for the Master tier. 2 wins in preseason though. And yeah, I don't know. It's presumably going to be a very strong roster. They have Master tier experience, and coming in here as one of the heavy favorites, most likely.
Yeah, another all Spanish team. Is Spain the new France for Rocket League?
Maybe.
Have I missed something?
It might be. And yeah, as we go on, oh god, I'm gonna butcher that. Chiazzo? It's probably more Italian. Chiazzo? I don't know. It is. You can read it. It's an esports team. It's all Spanish again. I'm fairly certain I've heard at least Alni as a name here. They are the top seeds on this side of the elite tier. And yeah, coming in at a dashing 1965 MMR. And yeah, honestly, that gives you an idea what teams we will find in the Master Team tier shortly. These guys had a pretty good preseason, but lost to the team below them. And they will be one of the big forces to take home this elite tier. So let's have the overview here. Okay, yeah, I honestly we're just coping for Ascension at this point. All of us voting for Sakura are Ascension players. Doggo probably did not want to vote for his own team. I think yeah, Tiazo Esports there probably the best choice here. They look very strong, even though they did lose one series. And yeah, Guy going with Brush and Dash. Yeah, honestly, of these, I think top 4 here, probably everyone has a very good chance of topping League Play.
Okay. Yeah, I have nothing more to add to Elite Tier. I think I can't pick. I mean, if I'd had the time previously, I would have made a pick. But on the spot, I don't think I can really put anyone in
that's
there.
Fair. So moving on to our final 10 teams of the night here, Master Tier. Here for you, we have put a €250 prize pool there for now. And yeah, the Big Ten. I read it in chat, and yeah, those are in fact very Big Tens. Top 6 go into playoffs, into the double elimination bracket, and let's just get going with the bottom seed of this tier. So, the Ireland main roster. D Lynch has been playing on that team in Master Tier before. Waffle and okay, apparently they have adopted an Englishman. Or this is some kind of joke or mistake on Llama. But yeah, here they are, bottom seed in the Master Tier once more. Did good against one of the top sides of the Elite Tier with a win against Blauhigh Ball, but did also lose to the other top side of Elite Tier.
Yeah, and bottom MMR ranked 10th, 1975 on average. Is this the highest? This is the craziest Master Tier we've seen.
Probably. I'm not entirely sure, but we're getting way up still from here. So next up, I think is going to be the last team below 2000 MMR with the LM Trojan Warriors. Legend Mania presumably is what that LM stands for. All English team, one Northern Irish guy with them. Did only play one of their preseason matches, which was ultimately a win. And given they are a new roster here, we don't really have much more info for you about these guys.
Nope, just another Brexit team, and we will move on to Karasu Eaters. Presumably, this is the A team. All Spanish again, and our first of 2000 plus. Top 8 now will be 2000 plus MMR on average.
Yes.
That is to name the captain of this team insane.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. They did win against Blauhigh Ball again here, top side of Elite Tier, and then did get a win against the seed above them, and a close game of another team that is seeded above them. So they will be very competitive in this Master Tier, even though they are not quite on top with the MMR. Moving on to the 7th seed here, Allingham Birmiversity. 3 wins in preseason. Honestly, can't go much better. 1 against the side below them, and 2 against teams seeded even higher. So, yeah, there's a lot of upset potential in this Master Tier. New roster entirely. And all English once more, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a mix of the Hull and Birmingham University esport teams. So these guys essentially play collegiate in the EU.
Yeah. So,
So it'd be good. It'd be good. It'd be interesting.
yeah. Another Spanish team, Last Five Stars Prime, the second Last Five Stars org. And the main Last Five Stars org, apparently. 5 players again. I think the other one had 5 players as well. All Spanish. All losses in preseason so far. As not too great for them, but they are placed, conveniently in the middle of this master tier. 6 teams get into playoffs. This is just about their seed. And it's not going to be easy for them, though.
That is quite the logo as well. I'm just reading it, and it just there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
So
let's move on. Yeah, again, Spain somehow just been apparently France's Pro Rocket League and Spain is Bubble Rocket League, maybe.
might be.
Anyway, DSQ Esports, 4th in the Masters, serve with shooters, and 4th in Master Playoffs Jazz Team Lotus last season. So, Master Tier pedigree. Yeah, the British and Welsh, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, and one of those was a loss. And that was to KE, who are a little bit lower seeded than them. So it's all up in the air, I think, this top 6.
Yeah, to be fair, maybe this is a bigger difference of that far up the ranks, but 3 ranks down is still only 50 MMR or so. So ranks also don't always indicate the full strength of the roster, depending on when they peaked or when they grinded. Given that we look at the ranks of the past years, or year rather. But yeah, they did get a win against a team above them as well. And we'll see if this is the next one. Nope. It's Team Serene, the main roster for now. All new roster as well, even though Team Serene definitely not a new org to Rocket Sundays. Only played 1 match and lost 1-3. But they are sitting at almost 2.2k MMR and on 4th seed overall. So they are surely expected to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so too. But we'll see how it goes. They didn't get too fortunate in completing all their preseason. And neither did Team GMask. Yet again, another all-Spanish team, 3rd highest MMR average of the entire league. 43rd in the logo rankings, and they lost their only preseason to DSQ, who we've already seen.
Yep.
But yeah, maybe it's just going to be a Spanish Inquisition in the Rocket Sundays this season.
It's kind of crazy, honestly. I think of the 20 top teams, there is 7 or 8 full Spanish rosters, which is, it is a lot, and we're not even done yet. Maybe there's more to come. Let's see the second seed of Rocket Sundays entirely. No, it's Nix Yearly. No logo for them, but 2 Dutchies and an Englishman teaming up together. They did not complete any matches in preseason, but if I remember correctly, they had a very convincing reason for it and will pull through in league play. 5th in Master playoffs last time round, so dropped out in the first round as the cleanup crew. And so, there's only one more to go.
It's Yamar! And if you're Scottish, you'll understand that as your mother. It's Yamar. And 3 Scots. Khan, I think, has a lot of Rocket Sundays previous, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was for sure on Last Wind, I think, and he has been on one other big roster that I am not getting in my head right now. But yeah. He has experience up here. Almost 2.3k MMR is kind of crazy. They as well, I think, had a player in the hospital for the span of preseason who has recovered since, I think. So they'll be good to start into league play, but thus could not really complete any of their preseason fixtures. So they're kind of blank sheet for us as well, which makes it all the more exciting in league play in Master Tier, as we head to our final overview of a tier. And well, we have a nicely distributed prediction up here. Most votes go to Yamar, and it's kind of just falling down a little bit slowly towards the other teams. But yeah, the MMR difference is kind of speaking in favor of Yamar, so hopefully they can pull through in league play and prove a lot of us right. I mean, I guess unsurprisingly, it's easy to predict for the top one. I do think Team Serene might be an interesting side, who could potentially mix up this Master Tier a little bit in league play. I think when it comes to consistency in the playoffs, it will probably be Khan and his new squad to take the crown.
Yeah, very likely. I mean, when you get up towards those ranks, even as you say about 50 MMR, that can matter. You know, that 50 MMR has to be so hard won that there is a genuine skill gap between like your 50 and your 100 MMR when you get that high up. But you know, it is an average, and it is a team game, so you just don't know. You just don't know. Teams like DSQ, who had pretty good run beforehand, and you know they didn't get swept in the game that they did lose, and that was a team that was lower ranked than them. Yeah, it's at least for the bottom spots of the playoffs is going to be tight, but the top end too, I'm really hoping for a fierce fight and not a total blowout, because that's the risk that you have at both ends of the spectrum in Foundation, that you're going to have team at the bottom just gets beat 3-0 every week, and then the team at the top of Masters wins 3-0 every week.
I mean, hopefully not, but it might happen. The differences do get bigger towards the bottom and top. But
if you win 3-0 every week, you are the best of the best, and that only makes sense. And you're not going to take your foot off the pedal if you want to win. You're going to win. Obviously, as a spectator myself, and I'm sure maybe you'll agree, and some of you in chat will agree, is we all want exciting Rocket League. We all want exciting stories, especially for the playoffs. And so yeah, maybe it'll be a little more competitive than 3-0, and I think that it will be.
All right. So final overview of the tiers as shown in this little presentation of ours. And yeah, as said before, prize pool for the Masters guaranteed, for Elite Tier to be announced potentially. As tradition, I would ask you now, put you on the spot, to pick one team that you would potentially have your eyes on.
Ooh, team to watch. It's so difficult. There's a lot of talented players in there. Stool sample all the way. Come on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. That is just a very fun roster to watch. But yeah. I will. Ooh, it's tough. I mean, I would say Criminals, but I think it doesn't make much sense watching them, because I do think they will dominate. So it may not be the most interesting stuff. I'll actually say Ascension Halo, because I don't know if they are just ranked criminally low, but I feel like they are really strong, and I'd be surprised if they don't make it into playoffs, and maybe even go far in playoffs. So yeah, that's gonna be an interesting thing to see. Don't say an Ascension team. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm really excited about you guys. So
Kirby says well done.
Be happy about this, goddammit. It's a compliment. No, however, before we start yapping too much, there's only like 92 other teams. No, there's 88 other teams. Okay, I'm not. Okay, You know what? I'm just backing Aaron on stool sample then. Frick you guys. So yeah, I don't know, man. As said before, fixtures are in the works. They will not come out today. They will maybe come out tomorrow night. Otherwise, they will be available Monday in the early early stages of the day. So it may not be morning, but it's probably going to be before noon. So yeah, the two of us really only can wish you a lot of fun in Rocket Sundays in this upcoming season. Thank you all for signing up and being here. Thank Angina, honestly, for his amazing work
big time,
with the setting up. He's like the sheet master. Very much, yeah. Rocket Sundays is built on Angina's sheets and codes at these days. So yeah, shoutouts to Angina. Thank you all for being here, and yeah, see you on the field hopefully. Till then.
Good night.